Today I would like to review Little Big Adventure from 1994. This game was made by the French Adeline Software International, which had a team that made the original Alone in the Dark, one of the first survival horror games in 3D. So that's a great start. For this review I will be playing the game on a Mac, since I don't have a computer with the recommended specs anymore. Little Big Adventure, or LBA for short, is an action-adventure game played in an isometric world with 3D characters, combining free roaming elements with fixed missions. In this game you play as Twinsen. He is one of the humanoid creatures called Quetches. He lives in another galaxy, far, far away, on the planet Twinsen. This planet is being terrorized by the evil dictator Dr. Funfrock, who is reigning terror over the citizens of Twinsen.
He has at his disposal two high-tech weapons that ensure his power: cloning and teleportation. He can clone any of the species at will and subsequently recruit these clones into his ranks. He can then deploy these clones instantly through a network of telepods that are dispersed over the entire planet.
So in short, don't mess with him. Twinsen's having strange dreams about a goddess named Sandel and the destruction of the planet. Dr. Funfrock, who is also an evil scientist, has forbidden everyone on the planet to speak about this goddess and an old prophecy about an heir who will save the planet from destruction. And what do you know? By having these strange dreams, Twinsen is thrown into jail. This is where the game begins. The first thing to do is to escape from the Citadel and go back to your girlfriend Zoe. This is not an easy task, since all the soldiers want you dead. You escape and return home to be reunited with your girlfriend.
Ooh.
But you're not done yet. While you're hiding, Zoe's kidnapped by Dr. Funfrock's men. So in short, you are Twinsen, the Quetch, on a quest to save Twinsen. But how exactly are you supposed to save Twinsen? Well, Twinsen's ancestors have provided him with all sorts of magic goodies. The two most important ones are the tunic and the magic ball. The magic ball is the main weapon of Twinsen. It's a bouncy ball that makes a cartoony sound each time you throw it. The tunic makes Twinsen look a bit more like he does on the cover of this game. But there's something missing, isn't it? This is the medallion, also left by your ancestors, which raises your magic power. With these items and many more, you must find your way through different islands, fortresses, sewers and a temple named the Temple of Boo, where you will find the Book of Boo, which will let Twinsen speak with all the animals on Twinsen.
I'm looking for the plans of the teleportation center. I'm on special assignment.
What's a teleportation center?
The controls are very much like the first Resident Evil games. What I mean by that is that Twinsen moves like a tank. When you press up, Twinsen doesn't go up on the screen. He moves towards the angle he is facing. You can steer him left and right. This takes some time to get used to, but if you do, it's kind of fun to move him this way. One big thing this game introduces are the different behavior modes: normal, athletic, aggressive and discreet. Each behavior mode has its own functions. Normal lets you walk, talk with the people on Twinsen, search for items and activate different things. Athletic lets you run through the world. The action button, which is the space bar, lets you jump. Jumping is sometimes quite essential in some parts of the game, specifically in the Temple of Boo. It can be very frustrating at times because the game is in an isometrical angle, so it can be hard to predict where Twinsen will land. Aggressive mode will put Twinsen into a boxer stance. Also, the way he walks in this mode is quite hilarious. You can kick some butt with the action key, but it's not always the safest thing to do, so make sure you have enough health points when you want to knock someone out this way. The last mode is discreet, which makes Twinsen as silent as a whisper in the night. Yes, you'll actually hear this bass sound every time Twinsen makes his step. and when you turn, you'll hear. This mode acts as a sneaking mode, which isn't used as much in the game, but you can use it to sneak past enemies, since they have a difficult time hearing you. One of the first things I noticed was that most of the characters in the game have their own voice clips, which was pretty fascinating at the time. This really helps with the engagement with all the people on Twinsen. The second thing I like is the amazing atmosphere the game provides. It has a unique graphical art style, which kinda reminds me of plastic toys, which I like. Unlike the dark story, it makes it look a lot more positive. And to top it all off, the soundtrack. This soundtrack, made by the French composer Philippe Fetchy, is just amazing. The high CD quality music really helps to shape the atmosphere. The thing I like about these older games is that it is very easy to rip the different tracks of the game CD. One of the bad things is the voice acting. First of all, it's pretty low quality sound, it has lots of noise. But that could be forgiven because of the time it was made. But the second thing is the lack of acting in some of the voices. It feels kinda weak.
Good day, young quetch. I don't know where they are, kind sir.
But I don't mind these things that much. I think it adds to the charm. I've always played the English version of the game, and I heard that the French voices sound a lot better. Another thing is the bad combat. It's very difficult to hit an enemy, and when you do, they can jump to another place, which can leave you open for an attack in case you miss them. This feels really unfair, and it can be pretty boring at times when there is no challenge. There actually is a PlayStation 1 port of this game, which I think is pretty cool. It runs pretty smooth, and they adjusted the controls to fit a PlayStation 1 controller. All of the functions are here, and the one thing I really like is how they implemented the behavior modes in the 4 shoulder buttons of the controller. You can switch really fast from one mode to another, which helps with the gameplay. You can almost compare it with the controls of Assassin's Creed, in which you must combine different buttons to change his behavior. The one bad thing I don't like are the long loading times. You see this screen every time you go to another part of the game, which happens quite a lot. But the port on the PlayStation 1 is not the only port anymore, since DotEmu made LBA for the iPhone, iPad and Android devices in 2014. And it's a good one too. I've only played the iOS version on my iPhone 5S and iPad 2, and I quite liked what they did with it. The best thing are the controls, which are much improved over the original. Now you can tap anywhere you want and Twinsen will actually walk to it, so the tank controls are solved. You can tap pretty much on everything. You can use it to talk with people, search for items, activate buttons and fighting. To do this, you must do a double tap, which feels really natural. The combat problem is resolved too. Now you can precisely aim by dragging with your finger. You can perfectly see where the ball will land. Jumping is precise too, by using the same principle. All of this really helps with the engagement of the world, and it helps new players to enjoy it in the best way possible today. This game is a real classic, and it deserves another look. For newcomers, I really consider the new app version of the game. You can also buy it for almost next to nothing on goodoldgames.com. The final thing I would like to share is the wonderful fan forum called the Magic Ball Network. There you can find a load of information and other things. So, if you like the Little Big Adventure games, please check it out. Thanks for watching.
What are you doing there?